Here's what I wouldn't do. The number one thing I wouldn't do with my money if I had $10,000 is give it to somebody to start an automation store, automate it. I would not trust anybody else with my money more than I trust myself. I've seen a lot of gurus out here say, hey, give me your money. I'm going to invest it for you. I'm going to take care of it. No, thank you. I'll pay you for education. I'll pay you to learn. Certainly not $10,000. I mean, and realistically, I'll only pay you to learn after I watch all your YouTube videos, I listen to your podcast, and I find that you give real value. But I would not trust any of these, scoundrels. I mean, they just leech your money. Now, granted, some people are legitimate investors, or they have legitimate businesses where they invest your money. But how many times are people going to give you the story of, I came out of jail, I've learned how to do X, now I'm teaching people how to do X and tripling their money in a year? I don't care if that's in real estate, in Amazon warehouse automation, drop shipping, and trucking, and babysitting. Fraudsters are fraudsters. I would not give my money to anybody to do as they please. I don't even trust people with too flamboyant and whimsical social media accounts. If you gotta be so ostentatious and out there with your social media account, and then you're asking me to invest my money, I know that you're going to take this money and go do a video shoot with it. Wouldn't trust it. Wouldn't do it. Here's the second thing that I would not do with my money if I had $10,000. I would stay away from anything that's quick money. Day trading. Like the automation, quick flips. I would stay away from anything that's quick money. The reality is that there are people who do this for a living. If it was fast, easy, and cheap, somebody would have exploited it by now. And if you find something that's fast, easy, and cheap, profitable, it's probably not legal. Take your risk if you want, but it's probably not legal. I would stay away from day trading. People make money on day trading. That's a very small percentage. And if you're going to be an entrepreneur, you got to know numbers. You got to be realistic, right? About 97% of people lose money when it comes to day trading. I'm not saying that you shouldn't learn about it. I'm not saying that you shouldn't even figure out what the hype is and what the mechanisms are around it. A lot of times fraudsters do their illicit business under real foundation. There is a foundation for short-term trading, for swing trading. But don't expect to do it overnight. Don't expect it to be quick. Learn the basics. Understand that it took you a lifetime to get here. If you're I don't know, 30, I mean you've been an adult for what, 12 years? It took you 12 years, you're still broke. Now all of a sudden you want to be rich in 1 year. Be patient. That's what I wouldn't do with my money. I mean, I've lost money trying this stuff. I'm telling you from experience. Granted, I didn't lose too much money. That was kind of like, let me try it. Let me see what the hype's about. Yeah, and I became part of the 97%. Granted, I just didn't dedicate that much time to it. You know, I was making my money elsewhere, and I decided to focus on that. You can't get too spread out. That's something that I've been guilty of. Getting too spread out, doing too many things, diversifying is a good thing, but being distracted is not. What's the third thing I wouldn't do with my money if I had $10,000? Surprisingly, this is the number 3. This is maybe the shocker. What I wouldn't do is necessarily go and buy a house. I would not necessarily invest in real estate if I had $10,000. The reality is that real estate right now is expensive. And there is a banker out there, a lender that can convince you that you have enough for a down payment and closing costs, and there's assistance programs with $10,000. And they might be true. That might be very true. But I would have to talk to you about how long did it take you to get that $10,000 and save that? How much money are you going to be able to afford for this house after that $10,000 is gone? The problem with real estate is that people get into this commitment, and yes, they can afford to buy it. They can afford the down payment. Maybe it's no money down. They can afford this and that, but they don't realize that your payments, depends on where you live, your taxes go up, your insurance goes up, right? And sometimes dramatically. And then, oh gosh, don't let there be an issue with your AC unit. Don't let there be an issue with your roof that your insurance won't cover. Or you got to replace a water line and they got to break your floor up. You got to replace the sewer and electrical. Whatever the case is, a lot of times people get into these properties that they don't realize is a ticking time bomb, and they can't afford the explosion that's about to happen. So I wouldn't get into it unless I knew that I have enough money set aside to kind of mediate the issues that not can, but will occur. If not now, then later. And now, of course, I have a whole series on real estate investing, and I do encourage people to get into real estate investing, but I want to make sure that you get into it responsibly and understand the costs that come associated with it. So if you have $10,000, I would focus on, there's creative ways to get into real estate investing. I didn't say like don't invest, right? Like there's REITs, there's wholesaling, there's there's a lot of different things. You might even participate in a fund, but don't go out there thinking that your $10,000 is going to buy you the white picket fence and the dog and whatever. It might come with more headaches in 3 to 6 months, and your real estate agent isn't going to be answering their phone. Your lender is going to tell you, I don't know, right? And your mortgage is going to be sold off to a different bank that you've never heard of, but they're going to want their money regardless if that house is still there or not. So that's my suggestions of what I would and wouldn't do with $10,000 if I had to start over. Let me know what you guys think and what you guys would do.